Hi guys, today I'm going to do a book haul, and I don't remember the last time I did a book haul. I've been restrained, but no regrets. So yeah, you might be wondering what's going on here. I thought these were so beautiful that I put them in the video. Basically, I'm going to be really vague, and I hate it when people are vague on YouTube and don't tell the whole story, but I can't tell the whole story. This last weekend has been awful. Something happened. I can't actually talk about it yet because it has to go through the proper channels and be dealt with. And I will make a video in the future about it, but it's just been a bad, horrible weekend. So my lovely boyfriend sent me these beautiful flowers to cheer me up, and I thought I'd put them in the video because they're just giving me life. And also, let's be honest, they're a lot prettier to look at than me. So first up, I got some secondhand books. You know me, I'm a secondhand book fiend. So I got Arthur Miller's After the Fall. You don't normally find Arthur Miller plays secondhand anywhere. You have to pay for them new and they're quite expensive. I read almost all of his plays. I'm obsessed with them. He's my favourite playwright. I love him. Got that. Then got Footnotes to Sex. Look at me. By Mia Farlane, and this is about a couple who are no longer having sex, and the woman decides to take advice from her French friend, so I don't know what that means, and the man just decides to have an affair. So it's just about that. And then the woman's sister is going to get involved. I hope it's not going to be incestuous, like, oh, I don't know. And then another risque one, Boundaries. It's got a naked man on the front. This is by Aidan Shaw. Now I picked this up because it's about a love triangle. You've got this straight couple and then this gay guy comes in and is going to mess things up, and that's what it seems like. I've nearly finished this. This is an experience. Like, watch out for the review of this. Wow. The writing just, yep. But I looked into Aidan Shaw, and Aidan Shaw was like Britain's first hardcore porn film star. Yes, you heard me right. So yeah, it's just, he was already famous in like porn, and then he made this, which isn't really about porn, but it's about sex and loads of different stuff. There's so many twists. It's, it reads like a series of short stories about people's lives, so it's just snapshots. Some of them aren't even in the right order, but it works. So, God, I haven't finished it. So it does depend on how the end goes about sexuality, but it deals with stuff like AIDS, rape, like unrequited love, intense, you know, people get really intense and want people to become dependent upon them, which I always think is such an interesting thing, because why do you want someone to like need you in? It's a bit much, but this is what this book is all about. I can't wait to review it. I look a bit like an angel, look at me. Or a ghost. I then picked up 3 mangas. I don't know if these are well known in the manga field, if they're famous, if they're good or they're bad. You know me, I pick up odd books, like the book I was just talking about, like just odd little relics that I'm interested in, so I don't know if these are hyped mangas or not. So first up, I got Yona of the Dawn. This is about a princess who, someone breaks into the palace and she has to escape the palace and then like fight for survival, I'm guessing. I then got Food Wars, which, with manga, I like 2 things, which I like plants and flowers and the way they're drawn, and food. I don't know why, they're the 2 things I love. So this is all about a boy who works in his dad's rundown restaurant in like a shady part of town, and then he gets to go to catering school, and it's about him trying to make it in catering school. I thought it seemed like a nice little tale. And then I went a bit rogue, I went a bit mental. Looking at this, I think I'm going to love it, but okay. It's called The Ancient Magus Bride. Now, it's about a girl who's been through a lot of abuse. Then she ends up being like taken to a slave auction and just auctioned off to be someone's slave for whatever they want. Now, this gentleman who has a carcass for a head, but a man's body, and wears a full-on suit and horns coming out of his head. Wait for it. He buys her. So obviously she thinks she's going to be a slave, and then he says, I'm going to make you my bride, you're going to have to marry me. I'm my apprentice. I think he's got magical powers. This seems mental. I actually can't wait to read this because there's so many plant pictures, and that's why I got it, because it looked really beautiful because of that. But like the funny bit of it, which when I started it I could not stop laughing, like literally I was hysterical, is that he has this carcass head, but then these massive horns, and when he goes out, so that people don't realise he has like a carcass for a head, he just puts a little bit of cloth over his face, but then he's got these massive horns. So I don't get why you'd see someone and be like, oh yeah, no, that's Yeah, horns. Yeah, yeah. And then last but not least, my boyfriend got me two things. This thing I'm borrowing and this thing he actually got me. So this is marbles. I've been looking at this for so long. I've been eyeing it up. I've been into bookshops. I've touched it. I've opened it a million times. I've been near it, but I've never bought it. And I was looking at it and he bought it for me, and it's a graphic memoir by Ellen Forney, and Ellen Forney has bipolar, and this is what this is about. And I love how it's done here, all like these bright rainbows and then these dark rainbows, how bipolar is like a chemical imbalance of the brain where you find it difficult to regulate emotions, and you could be really manically happy and then the next day severely depressed. It's a really difficult thing for people to live with. And she talks about in this, she got the diagnosis when she was 13, and she didn't want to take the drugs because sometimes the drugs make you sleepy and not as creative, so she decided not to take the drugs. I'm guessing it's going to be about that, and we're going to find out whether in the future she changed her mind. And it just seems really good, and it seems really funny. I've started it so far, but I think it's going to be one of those that's like Calling Dr. Laura. It's funny, it's well done, but it's also like harrowing and sad at the same time. So excited for this. I don't know why I always have to put on like a bizarre voice. And last but not least is this book that I'm borrowing off my boyfriend, and I'm so excited. This is a manga, and when he bought it I was like, oh my god, it seems amazing. He was like, do you want to like borrow it off me? I was like, no, don't worry. But in my head being like, give me that book. This is about a girl who lives in a tribe. She's 20 years old and she's been told she's got to marry a 12-year-old boy. Sorry, what? But it's about like different people, different countries, cultures, and how they are. Now, in my wrap-up, I said how I don't like how some mangas have detail and then other drawings within the manga will be like stick people. If you go back to classic manga or like really critically acclaimed mangas, the whole thing, every single drawing is heavily detailed. It's just with kind of newer mangas that they don't do as much detail, and this is one of them that the detail in this is just, well, oh, it's stunning. The detail on all the designs, all the clothing, everything is just so beautiful, gorgeous. So this is going to be about the girl like in her tribe, and then there's certain scenes where she's talking to the 12-year-old boy, and we often hear, you know, like 12-year-old girls have to marry 50-year-old men, but it'd be interesting to hear it from a 20-year-old girl who's got to marry a 12-year-old boy and is thinking like, I don't know, but this is our culture and this is what I've got to do. I think this is an incredibly interesting concept. Cannot wait to read it. This is a series. Cannot wait to get into this. It's called Bride's Story. I didn't even tell you what it was called. I got too much like excited. Bride's Story by Karu Mori. So excited. These flowers really remind me of, you know, the original Alice in Wonderland Disney cartoon? There's a song in it where all the flowers talk, and that's my favourite part of that film. Because that film is nice, but you know, like a lot of classic Disney, you're watching it and it drags on. But it, you know, it's alright. But there's when all the flowers are singing and speaking to each other, there's a bit in it where I think like the little forget-me-nots try and come out and they're like, can we join? And someone's like, you're a weed. And I always think someone's going to shout that at me. That I'm like, hey guys, can I? And someone's like, you're a weed! And I'll be like, oh, sorry. So that's it, that's the end of this video. If you have anything to say, then comment down below. I will listen, we can chat, we can natter, we can gossip about life. I feel really cheered up. Videos really cheer me up because I had such like a horrible weekend. Can't even talk about it. This has really cheered me up, being here with my flowers, with you, with my books. That's all I need in life. And yeah, I'll see you again soon for another video. Tuesdays and Fridays are when I'm now uploading videos to this channel. So I'll see you on Friday. You also got me this little teddy bear that was like attached to the flowers. Look, hello, hi, how are you? I've got a channel, feel free to, no, please don't advertise on my channel.
I don't know if you can hear me or if you're even there. I don't know if you would listen to this gypsy's prayer. Yes, I know I'm just an outcast.
I genuinely am an outcast though.